Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Tulip Fever, which is a period piece about forbidden love mixed in with a bunch of other subplots, including the trade of tulips in Amsterdam, and boy was this a hot mess. Now, I saw the trailers for this film and got really excited about most of the cast. Not a huge fan of Dane DeHaan, not a huge fan of Cara Delevingne, which honestly, she's not really in it that much, so whatever. But Alicia Vikander, Christoph Waltz, Judi Dench, super excited about seeing them. Small role for Jack O'Connell, and unfortunately, it didn't really come together very well. And it was directed by Justin Chadwick, and really, how this story's put together is very clunky. It just kind of feels thrown together, scene to scene, shot to shot. Just feels like it's some kind of like bull in a china shop, just like flailing all around, and it just really doesn't feel like it's a cohesive film where it's getting from point A to point B with these points. It just feels all jumbled together, and honestly, it drags a lot at a lot of different points in this film, and it's like, it's not that long of a film. It's an hour and 47 minutes. It doesn't even hit 2 hours, and it feels like a drag, which isn't a good thing. And honestly, in terms of the tone, there's a lot of bad humor, and I'll talk more about that when I talk about the writing, but it really didn't work in this film, and it takes you out of the film. It's supposed to be serious, maybe, I'm not sure. Is this supposed to be one big joke and wink wink at the camera? And I don't know, didn't feel right. And honestly, there's certain scenes, and honestly, this has a lot to do with the acting. There's certain scenes that do hit you emotionally, but overall, it's just like, I can't even keep track of all this crap. Why do we even care that much? And looking at the cinematography by Ergel Brild, don't know if I got that right. I attempted, but this film's shot beautifully. How it's so fluid and craftful with all the shots and how it goes about movements in rooms and the camera and everything. It has great close-ups, great tracking shots, everything put together, and it's a beautifully shot film. It looks gorgeous, and there's a lot of technical things that I'm going to give it some thumbs up on, but didn't really elevate it, which is unfortunate because it's beautiful. Beautiful turd. Sorry. And looking at the writing, which was done by Deborah Mogoch and Tom Stoppard, like I mentioned before, this story's a hot mess. It can't balance all the different storylines and the different subplots, and a lot of them feel flat. This main forbidden love, they fall in love in like 2 seconds because, like, oh, she's hot. Okay. Thor, Jane Foster. That's about it. And it's just like, I'm supposed to believe that she should ruin the lives of multiple people for this love that there's no substance to. Sorry, I don't. And most of the characters fall flat. There are some characters that do have some depth to them, and honestly, a lot of the praise of this film should go towards Christoph Waltz and his character, because honestly, it was the most interesting part of this film, and also Alicia Vikander. But besides that, it kind of just falls flat, and a lot of the people are just caricatures, and it's just like, okay, don't care about you that much, sorry. And then you look at how cliched and clunky the dialogue is. It's actually funny because how cliched and obnoxious the dialogue is, and not because they're trying to be humorous. When they do try to be humorous, it's not funny, which is bad. Thematically, it feels all confused. I'm not sure what the message was supposed to be, because there's so many twists and turns. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about any of these twists and turns. Did this character deserve it? Was there a lesson to be learned? I don't know. If you know, please put in the comments and let me know, because I don't. But the music done by Danny Elfman of all people, it's not going to be one of his like classic soundtracks that he does, like Batman and Spider-Man and a lot of his things for Tim Burton. But it's a beautiful soundtrack and elevates some of the scenes. And along with the cinematography, it is very technically well done. And honestly, what's keeping this from getting an F, spoiler alert, is the technical stuff and then the acting, which a lot of them feel just completely wasted. Dane DeHaan is just like, why? He's just so flat. But what Alicia Vikander does in this film is very admirable, and I feel bad for her. because last year she had The Light Between Oceans, and she was amazing in it. So was Michael Fassbender. That movie was great for the first half of it. And then now this year with this, she does a fantastic job. And it's just like, sorry, it's not going to get you a whole lot of attention because this movie was pretty bad. But then you have Christoph Waltz, who honestly, if this was a better movie, could potentially get Oscar nomination for how great he was and how he elevated a not super likable character, but brought sympathy and empathy to him. And you actually cared about him. I cared about him. I just wanted her to stay with him. By the end of the movie, it's like, okay. Wasn't expecting that when I went in, because based on the trailer, he just seems like a complete craphead. But he's not, and that was refreshing. Movie did that well. Glad to see that. But really, when it comes down to it, the it factor, what's my final thoughts on this? It's a well-crafted film, but it's completely misguided and misdirected. And the only reason that I'm going to give this a D is because it is beautiful and well acted for the most part. This is going in like the dinner area of the films I've seen this year. So final grade, a D.